Good afternoon, everybody. January 28th, 2019, just after 1 p.m. here on the Rancho in Santa Rosa, California. And welcome to all of you, just making sure everything is set up and working properly here. A happy day to you. Hey, Ghost of the Moon, you are indeed firstest with the best with Yujiro Hama Semper Fi, my friend. Nice to see you. Hello, Diamonds, Laura Lay, Vicky, Diesel Twin Turbo. Remember, if you're not getting notifications, just make sure that you sub or unsub, then resub, and hit the notification bell for all notifications. Kitten Cat says, I'm the best in troll business. Business is good. Hey, Janelle, how you doing? Life happens. Nice to see you. Sheba, Callie Rose, Harvey. Harvey, quite a comment. Been quite a 48 hours, hasn't it, Harvey? You know, you guys want action. You got action galore, and that's the bottom line. Oh, you love that, Aunt Johners. It was really a pleasure to have you in that hangout yesterday. You know, the audio hangouts, they're not everybody's cup of tea. I understand that. Hi, Beryl, Sean. But there's more people that are discovering, like I did, the absolute romance, the beauty, the captivating vision of those vacuum tubes glowing on that amplifier in the dark, and the beauty that the visual beauty that puts out, you know, in an era, hey, Andrea, where people took time to craft things with pride, and it really meant something to put out a quality product. Look at what you get if you go to the store and you buy your average amplifier today. You get a black box, black plastic, with a blue phosphorescent LED readout. You know, really? Man, let me invest my money into things that appreciate in price. I don't need to contribute to the problem of having another piece of junk hit a landfill. Chances are none of this gear over here is ever going to see a landfill, and that's the way it would be. Vicky said, I wish I could be as forgiving as you. Well, we'll see how things shake out today. I did think it was important to come out and put an incident encounter report out that so people could verify themselves if they wanted to call the non-emergency Santa Rosa Police Department and, you know, to ask for the records department, give that incident account number, and you can find the police reported last night's encounter on the Rancho. So, you know, that's all I'm going to say about that, and appreciate that. I don't ever get upset about things. They might say you're an ice queen, you know, but, you know, you have the presence of mind to do what you need to do before that door's open. Now, I can't help what happens in public places. That's part of being a real life streamer. You know what I'm saying? Stuff happens. Well, a lot of things came clear last night, Vicky. Some people gave me some backstory information. There's a lot of, you know, people think that they have sealed, hermetically sealed private rooms and stuff where things never come out. And then eventually people find out, to their horror, that people sit in recording things and stockpiling things for the future so that you can weaponize social media. You know, that term, weaponizing social media. Never let them see you sweat. Exactly. Hey, Kyle Fartboy. You know, I got bigger fish to fry. Missy Jenn, I'm going to have to be on board, all hands on deck for her, beginning tomorrow at about 5 a.m. in the morning, to make sure that she goes through, hey, 180, Kevin, to make sure that she, hi, Eclectic, to make sure that she gets what she needs. Kitten, I understand that. Kitten says swatting is way illegal and stuff, not my scene. We've been swatted here a lot. What we've never done before, because it happened on a live last night, we've never given it the attention here, but there's been plenty of times. I would say probably 6, and I think back maybe 5 times before. You know, it's an easy thing to say, well, you know, they're running a still back there and, you know, you get swatted. They come in and see that the thing is stone cold sitting there in a corner and it's just a piece of a woman cave now for decoration and stuff. So it is what it is. Thank you for all of you. I didn't delete the SWAT video, Alpha Wolf. I already had the follow-up video of the explanation. I put that on private. Everything in South is need to be said on that. Over 1,000 people watched that video. The people that were curious could get the information that they wanted from the Santa Rosa Police Department. End of the story. You know, it's the end of the story. Hey, Debbie. You know, would I ever do that to somebody else? Never. And I don't care if I ever had a falling out of a relationship. I have Debbie Ariola's information, Yujiro Hama's information. I just go down the list of hundreds and hundreds of people that we have the most sensitive information. Phone numbers. How you doing, Bosco? CX in the chat. Hey, Oda May, Cassidy Hampton, Sean the Brit. All these people I consider friends with pictures, addresses, phone numbers. You couldn't pry that. I don't care if Oda Mae Brown came here, jumped me, and left me hanging on a tree with my last gasp. I would never, ever release any information on anybody here, ever. You know why? Because friends become frenemies and become enemies. It's inevitable sometimes. What you do with that information, hey Karen, what you do with that information at that lowest moment defines your character as a person. When you most want to pick up the stick of retributive justice, and you think to yourself, man, I went through that. Maybe I'll let you experience what that's like. And open the door and there's 6 cops sweeping past you, fanning out on the Rancho property. How you doing, Uff? Imagine coming home to that or being home and that happens. Well, I'm equipped for it, as you know. Because I always bear one thought in mind. The cops are here to protect and to serve. If you're not doing anything wrong, you got nothing to fear. And when the call comes in, and almost instantaneously from the time they arrive, they see that it's what they call a SME, social media encounter. All of a sudden, within 5 seconds, the whole mood, the whole tension in the air, any thought of fear just disappears at that moment. Now everything just becomes cursory. Well, I've got to look in this. I've got to look in this building. I've got to look in that building. That's fine. See whatever you got to do. They don't need to check your license. They don't need to do anything else. They don't need to write up a long ass report. All they do is come in. They look at the screen that's rolling on the side. Now remember, I disabled the camera and the microphone. They can look at this chat that's rolling on the side. And it's like case closed. Now, unfortunately, one of the officers, I shouldn't have chuckled, but in leaving, I don't know what he did. He made a hard right going down the ramp. He went over the wall and fell into our bushes out front. And the other guys ended up laughing their ass off at this guy. That's the bottom. They got bigger things to do, and they cannot afford to be around and take a lot of time. Now, when you're out doing street streaming, or not street streaming, but at other places, it's a different story. You might have different encounters, but anybody that's an IRL streamer recognizes the realities of, you know, there's people that want to mess around with people. That's just a given, you know. But I just wanted to cover that for what went on here. Hello, Lisa. Nice to see you. Hi, Street Fiction. The great Lisa Arkey. Good afternoon against the wind. Anybody else that I missed? I think this probably makes, I think this either makes the 5th or the 6th time that this has occurred. Julio, I don't ever give people what they want, you know. I give my channel, I give the outgoing feed the way I want it to be. Oh, you got a blizzard up there today. With all due respect, Julio, it's just the way that I do things here. That's all. No offense to anybody. Oh, Rebecca. Okay. Beauty positivity. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to sub up your channel. Hey, bottom line. You know. Now, I know Julio's evil twin. I'm going to own it. You know, I do like attention and things, but I like attention that I'm doing the things and I'm kind of directing the events. That's all. You know, I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying my first instinct was to just cut the feed at that moment. You know, having all the live history of the flying wig and all that kind of stuff. I don't need to join the flying wig club. Okay, bottom line. Now the cops here in Santa Rosa, they do their thing. We do our thing now. You know, whatever, you know, they have ways. You can imagine that police departments send people to seminars. They discuss social media. They discuss the nature of what to do. So it really becomes their issue at that point in time, right? I mean, you can get all, you know, you see the people come on the next day after they've been swatted. Hey, Steph. And I've been on here for over 6 years, and I've seen zillions of swats live. And the thing is, they're usually over within 5 to 10 minutes or something like that. But some people really chimp out afterward. They really, thank you, Odame, they really chimp out. And they go nuts. I'm suing. I'm going to call my lawyer. You know, we employ more lawyers down here than any other piece of cyber internet space in the history of the world. We got doctors, we got psychiatrists, we got psychologists, we got PhDs, we've got Nobel Prize winners, statesmen, rock stars, famous athletes, and here we are on the Boyd. So lucky to be associated with such fine, upstanding people every single day on here. And who are we? A guy that lives in a tin can. You know, an old tranny bat. You know, a guy that's got kind of a big mouth up in Washington State. And a few other assorted characters. You know, we got Vinny. I love you, Vinny. I mean, we're really blessed to have such a cross section. Well, we got beauty queens here too. Sorry, we got beauty queens, we got queens, we've got raving beauties, we've got raving queens, We've got the whole doggone well. How you doing, Alf? Nice to see you, honey. Now, somebody said, what about Melton, John? You know, days ago, I already got alerted. Hey, man, Rosie, guess what? You've appeared on Melton John's radar screen on the 24th of January. Okay. Then you look at the video. You look at this guy's video history, and here comes my pal Hopper coming in there. The great Hopper. Jeremy Hopper. The legend. The true Wizard of Oz of YouTube. The guy that does stay behind the dark curtain here on Boyd. And you look at his comments on those threat videos. Now, I'm not center square on his radar screen. I'm somewhere off on the third or fourth concentric circle down there. But I do look at people's history. And I do look at people's track records. And I'll leave it at that. How you doing, Sonny? People make all kinds of threats every single day. Some have materialized. People have threatened to come by the Rancho. They have, in fact, come by the Rancho. They've released video on alternate sites with links so that I can see how they did a little bit of a walkabout. Just so you know, we got our eye on you. Hey, Mama, how you doing? In other words, if you're going to be on social media and you're going to have a higher profile or a high profile, several things are going to be guaranteed to happen. No matter how hard you try to be positive, no matter how hard you try to bring joy into people's life and put a smile on their face, no matter how much you try to be honest about stuff that happens, it's inevitable that you are going to grow a counter opposition to what you do. Now, what causes that counter opposition? Unfortunately, here on YouTube, it may be the way that you look and are perceived by people on YouTube. It may be some type of success that people believe that you have on YouTube. Or it may be they don't like the people that you associate with. Or it may be that they have caught you saying something negative about them on another chat. And then it's off to the races. How you doing? Shoot the shit. Well, let's look at number one. Beautiful. You know, the thing that really blows me away is I'm 60 years old. I ain't 30 years old. I'm not 22 years old. Me and MammaBear are basically going to be checking into a retirement home, probably side by side as roomies. The old gal's gone over the hill. So, you know, I think to myself, you know, I mean, how upset would I be, right? Right, how you doing, Jesse? I mean, the old bat, greatest ever. How you doing, honey? I mean, the old bat's not that many years away from, the eternal slow descent down into the bowels of the earth, right? So let's look at number 2, success on YouTube. And this is the one that really cranks my shaft. Okay, this one. I follow channels with people like Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon. Who else? Mark Weems. All kinds of audio channels you guys aren't aware of. Hickok 45. Yeah, we'll get kitten cat. We'll get to that. In other words, where do you define success? To me, as somebody else said, to me, my line of success on YouTube, and it always has been, is everyday fun for me on YouTube. And the day it really isn't fun and is a nightmare is the day that I will leave. But it will be on my own accord. Hello, Becca. Nice to see you. I think maybe 100,000 subscribers defines success on YouTube. Now, when you realize in year number 2, you may have an idea in your head that you're going to be a YouTube rock star. But by year number 2, when you're uploading every single day, sometimes 3 and 4 videos a day, and then the videos are piling up, thousands and thousands of videos, and you're doing all kinds of stuff, let me tell you, there ain't enough feedback from, quote, success on YouTube to keep that operation going for long. You do it because you have a passion. You do it because you love it. You love putting your life out there. You love showing vintage audio, naughty nighty baking, bikini baking, metal detecting, gun range, travel, restoration, renovation projects, cooking shows, RVing, moonshining. It's probably the greatest variety channel down here. But when you do the math, and you look at the number of videos that have been placed up over 3 channels, and it's well over 13,000 videos on 3 channels, and you look at the results of that, the only thing that a really smart-minded business person or analyst would conclude is you don't got what it takes. You're like the hamster running on the wheel. Your proportional output of subscribers and things like that in no way bears a relationship to the number of videos that you have up. So you're not successful in that regard. So therefore, it should be apparent to people, as Pam said, it's dedicated because you love sharing your life. Nothing else can motivate you for year 1. When you start your YouTube channel and you're thinking about 100 subs and putting a video out, yay, putting a video out, and then 1,000 subs, and then 10,000 subs. But you're working your ass off, but it's fun work. This, I have found over my years, is the this is the thing that I think most creates dislike on YouTube, is this jealousy of perceived success on other people's channels. When I first started, hey, Billy Jack, when I first went into, and I've been on the porch with Pam and Rick, shoot the shit. I started going on there 2 years ago when Debbie Lynn told me about the porch. I went over there and I liked their style. They were funnier than hell. And I just was a back seat back there. And then this year I kind of jumped in with both feet. And I said to myself, wow, look at this. They got 500, 600, 700 people. Did the thought in my mind be like, wow, I'm going to be negative about that? What's wrong with celebrating success and enjoying that and partaking in that and hanging out and having laughs? And now to be a Patreon of theirs and to once in a while get the enjoyment of being in a Patreon only chat. Very exciting to me. Celebrate success. You hear people like Marshall come in. I had 240 people today. And don't tell me about Melton, Marshall. Go back and I noticed you didn't mention me in the video on January 24th, Melton's video, okay? Celebrating success on YouTube. But I can't help it when other people want to always talk about subs, views, money you must be making. I heard somebody speculate that I'm making $50,000 to $60,000 a year on YouTube. Fuck, why not just say I'm making a couple $100,000? Why not make it real? At least incentivize somebody else to start YouTube, right? But whether we like it or not, if you're a content creator, by default, no matter what anybody tells you, you do enjoy growing a YouTube channel. You know, the ego starts to get in there. How many views did I have on my hangout? Or how many? I'm the king of, I'm the biggest and the best down here. The biggest of what? You know, the boy. These are the things that have been in my mind when you think, and then you think about the next one now, you put that one aside. And then it's the people that you associate with, okay? And there's always this idea down here, and I've always said it's called the associative principle of mathematics. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. In other words, if A and B have a falling out, then it has to automatically, if B and C are friends, A's troubles automatically go over to C. People get mad. How you doing, Nocturnal? People get mad that you're not standing up for them. You're not fighting their battle. When the reality is, you didn't have any part in that battle. And all you can do when you jump into that is just widen the ripple of misery that occurs and letting that, and instead of just letting that single individual deal with his or her own problem, we got to spread it out, and we got to start a recruiting drive for bringing in dislike, and eventually hate. When in reality, most people just want to enjoy YouTube and not have to be here to become the sharks and the jets and fight things out here on YouTube. That's my philosophy. Yeah, I'll meet you in real life. I'll be a friend. But if you do things to encourage other people, if you challenge people to do things on YouTube and then stuff happens to you, or you tell people, call people names and do stuff like that, or people threaten you, it's your thing to do. And this is the year, yeah, the transitivity. Thank you, Linda. It's been a while. How you doing, Henry? 2019 is the year I decided to step away formally from that. So people get upset about that. That's understandable. Things are changing down here. But you can see then the B game shifts in. Then we shift gears into the B game. You know, we bring out the B playbook now. Now we're going to start dishing out our own retribution for that, because you don't take one for the team. I didn't sign up on YouTube to take one for the team. The people you hang with. So when I made the decision to meet Dave and Becca, I could kind of look down the line here and see what was going to come my way. Like I said, it could have broken two ways. It could have been passed with just a little, but it became that wedge where points 1, 2 could then be brought into force and taken into battle. I refuse to do that. Now let's talk about this thing of what's best for business on YouTube. Okay. Marshall is always one to come on and say, hey, you know what? I'm best for business. I'm best for YouTube. I'm best for Google Corporation. See, the problem with that is, in the very shortest sense of being, you know, like you, Marshall, you and me, MammaBear, we're kind of red hot right now. We're the topics du jour because there's a lot of gear shifting going on in the communities. That's fine. But I'll tell you what, you might be best for, you might be think you're what's best for YouTube or Google, but you're not best for business for yourself. And when I see you over at Vinny's doing your little nonsense over there, calling people cucks and all that stuff, and then you look at me, yeah, I do some street streams that are a little edgy and maybe some things that people aren't down with, of course, at a bikini and all that. But it's with the spirit of positivity, Marshall. And people respond to that. They want to be with you. You think a hate watch is a wonderful thing. Yeah, hate watch, it means the same in YouTube analytics and this, that, and the other. But man, if you're not smart enough to see the future of YouTube is not on AdSense, it's on the relationship that you build with the people I've never used the word fans. This will be the first time I've ever used this word in 6 years on YouTube. I've never said this word before, but I'm going to say it today. Fans of yours. What fans do you have? What fans are going to carry you forward and ensure that you have a meal when times are tough, or to maybe put some gas in your van, or maybe do a restoration of your van? Where is it going to come from? I mean, Does anybody agree with what I'm saying? Let's do one of Marshall's famous polls here. Can I get a 69 if you get a concept of what I'm saying here? Can I get a 69 from people that agree and understand what I'm saying here? There it is. There's your answer, Marshall. So what that means to me at this point in time is that you might be the dirtiest player in the game, and you like being that villain that stands on the rope in the wrestling ring. When I was a kid at the Baltimore Civic Center and paid 25 cents to get into the Saturday wrestling show to see the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. And let me tell you, McMahon, when I'm down in Baltimore, we will see it all break loose. Bobo Brazil, Killer Kowalski, they'll all be down there. The Iron Sheik. Haystacks Calhoun. And they'd always bring the villain in. And the villain, before the match, would stand up at the corner of the ring and get up on the ropes and look at the people up at the audience there in the cheap seats, 25-cent lowlifes from Baltimore like me that would go to a civic center in the middle of the ghetto to watch wrestling on a Saturday afternoon. Just to see this guy stand on the ropes and flip the finger to all those people in the audience. You know, give them the fungula. Hate watching. Those people threw hot dogs, baseballs, bananas, oranges, tomatoes, pretzels, sodas. So what did they have to do? They had to wait 10 minutes to start the match to clean off the ring of all the shit that people threw down. They hate watching. Not one of those hated wrestlers ever went on to be noted for anything. They were just like the Stooges. They got the crowd worked up into a frenzy. Then when it was showtime and the camera's rolling, everybody's already whipped into a frenzy. Kill this mofo. I shake my head. I shake my head because I imagine what could be. My reservoir of goodwill is down significantly now. Why? Because I like to be able to envision a day where you get it and you put two and two together. So I'm wasting my own capital here, my own reservoir of goodwill, to be like a tow truck that backs up to try to pull your ass out of the mud. These people would have probably bought you a Pleasureway leisure travel wide body. But imagine now you've brought them to the point where all they think about at night when their head goes on the pillow and they listen to you, they all imagine themselves with a plunger and two wires going to your gas tank, and their dream is not while you're in it, but to see that Lisa Marie as a viral video going up. Debbie Areola, I'm not going to walk away. And I'm not going to bullshit about it either. Because it's in his own interest. Because he will come to a point, and it will be rather rapidly, where the things dry up and the realities of the negativism of YouTube that he created catches up with him. And that's going to be a very sad day. That's the most perfect explanation that I can give you, Marshall, that you're best for YouTube, you're best for Google. People say, I'm using you. I'm not using you. YouTube and Google are using you. YouTube and Google are using you. You might be best for business in your mind, but I'm best for business, my own business on the YouTube platform here. And please don't anybody tip anything today, please, for the love of God. I just, sometimes I forget, like I had it disabled yesterday and I forget to disable. I don't want anybody to dono a penny here or tip nothing. I just wanted to put this message out today because they don't have to hit the tip jar today because they're with me all week when I'm out doing streaming, when I'm doing audio things. Buy a drink, Cobra John. Hey, drink tonight is on me. Do you know how freaking kind that is to do that? Or when Chiming says, a dinner is on me. Why? Because she's getting the content that she's enjoying seeing. There's no hate watching there. She may hate who I hang with. She may dislike, well, she's not a hater, but she may dislike some of the people I hang with. But absolutely, positively, she knows YouTube content when she sees it. A lot of people out there know that. And they're willing to lift you up. Be a part of be a true fan in the sense of being a supporter that loves following you, but they'll always watch you. And yet they'll always look at you. And they'll really see what's phony or what's not. You can be phony for a week. You can be phony for a month. You can be phony maybe for a year. But over 6 years, you can't be phony on YouTube. People on here, Marshall, are not a tool for business. They're a tool here to sit there and enjoy entertainment on YouTube and keep the platform going with their views. You're not what's best for business. Because if you had any kind of business brain, you would see that your business model is like the movie Groundhog Day, brother. When Phil the Groundhog was driving that pickup truck after getting away from the Groundhog Day, and that's coming up soon, you'll be seeing the movie again. Punxsutawney Phil riding with Bill Murray, and Punxsutawney Phil is driving the truck. Bill Murray's both hands on the wheel now, Phil. And you know what? Right over the side of the fucking quarry and right down at the bottom. That's where you're going, man. Now, part B is maybe you know that and you don't care. That's cool. Maybe you envision I'll just get back into security work and I'll be a local legend at the Motel 6 or wherever I'm hanging out, busting pimps and prostitutes or whatever the hell. When we used to sit around and talk about, man, when you had the old Motel 6 bids way back in the early days when your channel was Nomadic Assyrian Elvis Van Dweller. People always wonder, what attracted you to Marshall? Just that fucking title. nomadic Assyrian Elvis van dweller. Without a doubt, the longest channel name I ever saw on YouTube. But in those glory days when talking about and even taking this around on some of those very earliest uploads, walking around that Motel 6 and bitching about in Little Rock, kicking people out, prostitutes, and breaking up fights. There's your future again, because you don't want to embrace the positivity of the platform. And now we have another little minor example in Bergs. Much as some people hate it in the community, they can't stand the Bergs. Big mouth, abrasive. But that's a human being there. And I felt good last night when he called me out and said, Rosie, you know, when I picked up the phone and called a lot of people a couple of weeks ago, I was having a bad asthma attack and some issues with, you know, feeling scared. And you picked up the phone and talked to me for an hour. How can I not care about somebody like that? How can I just treat him like a piece of garbage and just kick his ass to the curb and say, you know what? You're not worth it because you're too loud, you're too abrasive, you're too New Jersey. I can't tell you that Bergs will stay off of the high gravity shit, that malt liquor should be banned. But I can tell you the last 3 times that he's been on my channel in the last week and a half, he's been a positive contributor to a good evening and good hangouts that everybody agreed were some of the best hangouts that's happened in recent months. When we didn't have to go on that hangout and talk about other people and what other people were doing, Rosie, Elvis, and all these people, we were able to just have fun ourselves with Jill, Harvey, and do our old shit. Hashtag make YouTube fun again. You know, little by little, now Bergs' sub counts have now gone up. He bottomed out at 7. He bottomed out at, I don't know what the hell it was, 650 people. He was at 803. And he just collapsed. I don't know whether it was Otame. Maybe it was Kitten Cat in here. Maybe Kitten Cat. I'm gonna give her credit. You know, that's a fucking mean cat sometimes. But that, you know, at the end of the day, that cat's not going to do anything to really hurt you in life. Just put your face in your own pile of dew and say, here it is. But people agreed there can be fun on YouTube again. And it's not perfect, but Bergs now has positive reinforcement. He's gained back 40, 50 subs. He's starting to get the positive flow, the positive reinforcement, the benefits from flow of that. I already talked about Melton today in the beginning. I'm not worried about Melton. I don't spare a thought for Melton. I don't do anything to bother Melton. So at that point, it's on him what he wants to do and what he wants to build his life about. Because what Elvis didn't tell you was that I made Melton's big board on January 24th, 2 days before Marshall ever even talked about Melton, maybe 3 days before. Did you ever hear me come on here and mention Melton's name, despite the fact I've known Melton and that NOE gang forever? The network of evil. But Marshall, as soon as you, oh my God, the Melton's coming, man. It's going to have a baseball bat. If Melton shows up at your door with a baseball bat, I'll pay your fucking hospital bill And I'll put $1,000 in your pocket besides. How's that? I didn't mention Melton, Marshall, because I don't have to be a drama queen. I don't have to take a guy that's obviously having fun in his own way on YouTube. You know nothing about the network of evil because you don't watch other people's stuff, Mar. You don't ever get a grasp of, you don't ever get a grasp of the realities that people have fun on YouTube. If you're a good person, most people aren't going to screw around with you. But if you want to be that guy that chimps and stands up and chimps, remember the phone call you remember a couple years ago, Marshall, the Las Vegas trip? Remember that? Do you remember that in 2015? Your hangout emergency meeting of the Royal Guard, the Wing Bull Mafia, because what was going to happen then? Boris was going to come down, because he laid out some money on his bed and said, "Woo, I'm going to Vegas, baby. See you guys down there." You panicked and you opened a friggin' hangout, calling me out. We got to do something. Just, and I'm just thinking to myself, really? Here we go again. Look, I think Melton, I want to say this diplomatically. Melton's running his own show, Elvis. Okay? Anybody that's been around a while knows Melton already has a reputation for being a guy that's very good at rattling cages and doing stuff. The bottom line is, just keep your crap in order, and even people that are messing around won't mess with you, okay? But if you want to get out there and do a big video that, oh my God, Melton's coming for me, panic mode. I mean, it's Boris all over again. You tell me what kind of person is going to be willing to go to jail, no questions asked, to come and attack you in your van to potentially sacrifice his liberties, to sit in jail, and then to tell the other guys in jail when they ask him, "What are you in for?" "Well, I took a baseball bat and I went to some guy's, a man that lives in a tin can, and I just wanted to take him out." And when those prisoners in General Pop get together, when they have free time and they get their 15 minutes of internet maybe a week, if you're in California, maybe you get a drink with a cocktail umbrella in it and maybe a comfortable, easy seat and an assistant to queue up your computer. And you tell those people ask you, "Yeah, who was the guy that you said he was a YouTube guy? Let's look it up." And everybody's standing around that screen or that monitor when the Assyrian king comes on. And they look at the Assyrian king, and then they look at Melton, and they say, "Really? You this for that?" I mean, use that. Yeah, I hear you, Dave, and how you doing? Nice to see you. You just go back, and I advise everybody on YouTube to look up Riley the Goofer, Jeff T. Rowe, the Network of Evil, John in Messina, New York, whatever the hell the town is up there. Network of Evil. Yeah, I agree, Melton. Riley the roofer is a jerk, but he did send me some nice shirts and some other shit. And he's he's fun. I mean, we send him a Christmas card every year. He just doesn't like people that are window lickers. That's the bottom line. I mean, he did some of the greatest rants in the history of YouTube when he got out there and talked about the window lickers on the bottom of boy. Now, what is a window licker? That's somebody that never gets into the fray, but they're on the outside looking in, kind of licking the window. So I'm sorry, man. I think, and you may hate me for this, Marshall, and you may crank up a hangout or whatever and hate me. I think Melton John adds a new dimension down here to the boy. Remember, Marshall, it's what's best for business. And right now, Melton John is clearly best for business, sitting on the side chat there, having the time of his life over there. That's exactly right, Colleen. Yeah, Melton John's going to be on, he's already on Vinny G's Teespring shirt page, along with a soon to be released Rancho SWAT t-shirt. Melton John is best for business right now, Marshall. You don't get to set the rules. I predict he's going to become a friggin' superstar down here. You talk about best for business? There's best for business right there. Just something to think about while you're rolling around in the Lisa Marie. There could be a few Melton Johns out there. But Colleen Hope, my friend from the big island of Hawaii, who I suggest you guys sub up, show some love. It's the guy that's never going to be on YouTube that you know of. The guy that's never going to go for publicity is the one that's going to roll up on you when you're walking out of a Carl's Jr., Jack in the Box, a McDonald's one night, or sitting in your van with your state of the steering wheel address. And I hope that night never happens, to take a bat while you're just sitting in there with the window closed and just wham, right in the driver's window. Take you out, walk away. Doesn't need a glory run. Doesn't need to be what's best for business for YouTube. He just had to be what's best for his conscience in his own mind. That's ultimately what's going to come down. And I hate to say that. That's a terrible thing. And at that point in time, you won't be thinking getting the video up is best for business right now. You know, swatting, stuff like that. I can deal with that. People calling hotels when we're in Vegas, ringing the fucking phone every 5 minutes around the clock and shit. Ordering your room service, delivering flowers. But man, the guy with the bat that's unknown here on YouTube, that's the real deal. Think about that, Marshall. What's really best for business on YouTube? Because at the point in time, if we take your theory that what's best for business is views and stuff, I can tell you Melton John's views are going to explode down here. You make people stars here. Now let's get on to our last subject just of today, and I will be back later tonight. I do have to get a little bit. I don't think Melton John needs a Baker Act. I think Melton John wants to be a shock jock down here, Marshall. And he enjoys encountering people like you, okay? Remember Boris with the money laid out on the bed and coming to Vegas, and we have a panic meeting, emergency address to the people. They want to see you chimp out. They want to see you chimp out. This guy's solid entertainment value, Marshall. Melton John is solid entertainment value. I mean, shit, there's nobody in the history of Boyd that's gone from 2 days ago to virtually unknown except for a very few people in our community here, including myself, Jeremy Hopper, and some other people. There's very few people in the community that have ever gone to a Vinny G Teespring shirt in 2 days. You made the guy a rock star down here. Now let's get on to MammaBear and this thing about Las Vegas. You know, I'm often torn, you know, entertainment and things like that. Down here, it's always fun. You envision people together, Marshall and MammaBear and Rosie, you know, MammaBear at the Piranha Club. You know, the whole gang, big gang down in Las Vegas, Vegas Fiction, all the usual low lifes of YouTube, all the lowest of the low of the Boyd hanging out. Shit, maybe we even get Sean the Brit down there, you know, some other people down there. Freaking epic content. But the problem is that the heat is so high on me, on MammaBear, on Elvis. Right now, you already see that we got swatted here last night. I can only say to myself and to other people, I hope that things change for the better down here, because one thing is sure, the configuration at the end of the year in the communities will be totally different than it is today. You'll have people in private chats that turn against each other. There's people in there that record stuff on private hangouts that you cannot believe. And they stockpile that stuff to be used as weaponized social media. Vinny was smart. One really good thing that Vinny did is says he's signing off from green rooms. Well, I'm happy I never really got involved with green rooms too much down there. And then I just decided to just not have green rooms anymore. Probably a good move. Probably a good move. So MammaBear, I do think of a day, I do dream of a day when the heat's not so high right now, when maybe the memories have faded a little bit and all the back and forth both ways. Because I would love to kick ass with you in Las Vegas. We would tear up the town. But YouTube is a give and take platform. You get the messages, you give the messages. Now you might say, throw off those bottom boys and just stand up for yourself, Rosie. Now you're not even a cub. You're not an eaglet. Now Rosie, you're a woolly. You've been demoted again to the one that shovels the shit out of the bear cave. But I got sense. I got sense not to inflame and enrage people's passions about something. I like you, Mama Bear. I like hanging with you. I like going to your hangouts. We tease each other and goof around a bit. I genuinely enjoy your hangouts. They're kind of funny. They give a good laugh. You're a good entertainer. You pack the house in when you're on. But to commit to, to do that at this point in time and to kind of turn up the heat on that and poke that a little bit with the people. I mean, these people are on fire right now in this community. That's really not what's best for business at this particular moment in time. Now, maybe tomorrow, if I win $5 million on the lottery, I'll say, I don't care, right? I'll have the royal wing bull mafia guard, Sophia and company and Cookie. Then I can just say, on with the show. I'm going to go ahead and get something to drink. So. All right. I forgot to mention the other thing, Marshall, and you're going to really love this. You're going to really love this, Marshall. The really cool thing about Melton John, and make sure you're listening now, 100% full attention. Once you got on his radar screen, and I'm on his radar screen, and I'm on his, then guess what? He's got a lot of cool friends out there too. And these guys, they ramp it up a notch, They plan shit. They make stuff happen. They spend money. I hear you, Karen A. Your words are not lost on me. I predict, Marshall, in the next couple weeks, you and I are going to meet all kinds of strange and fascinating new friends on our site. Look at the side chat if anybody has any thumbs up or appreciate it if anybody has any questions. I think I laid out yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, Mama Bear, but I take that kind of calling me he in the spirit of just joking around. I know when someone seriously intends to hurt me, and I know when somebody is just fucking around and just poking you with the stick a little bit, But I'm just saying that you're going to see a lot of new Melton Johns coming around. Okay, just so you understand. So you can keep talking about his history. You can put up another video accusing me of not taking the threat seriously and shirking my duty down here. to stand up and file reports and do this and that. Melton will have an invitation to my panel. I'll be glad to be. Melton ain't no big fan of Rosie O'Kelly. I can fucking guarantee you that. But I'm not like you. I don't chimp out about stuff. It's up to him if he wants another time to come on and have the platform to come on and have his say so. That's cool. That's fine. But I'm not much much ahead of you on the line, Marshall. You know what I'm saying? The NOE ain't no big, great fans of Rosie O'Kelly either. As he said when he was looking at my social media, Instagram, on his January 24th video calling me out, Instagram, my Twitter. He knows what's up here. But the difference between you and me is I didn't chimp out. I never drew one single person's attention to what was going on. The second you looked at it, you had to make a big grand production about it. Now, I could have put up a video, had tons of views on it. I chose to just, this is a guy doing his thing. Now you've elevated the guy to rock star status and made him the fastest rising star in the history of the voice down here. Not me, you. At this point in time, Dave the Fisherman, there's no way that I could entertain, with the heat that's on right now, ever think of taking MammaBear to Vegas at this point in time. Okay? I mean, let's put it out there. Like I said, that's not what's best for business right now. Being honest, okay? I'm not here. I mean, judging by the stuff that's coming down on some of the other chats and the back and forth with MammaBear, don't need to have that. Okay? How you doing, Tilly Mae? Nice to see you. Tasha, hello. Low profile, what's going on? Yeah, Mama will go with me. I would too, Janet A. This is the thing I try to say. I'd be more concerned about somebody rolling up with a 9mm too. Absolutely, positively, 110%. Because the person that does harm is not the person that has any kind of profile on YouTube. It's not going to be somebody from the network of evil. I can guarantee you that. No, she won't bash me, Janelle. She already, maybe things will change. Like I said, in this community, all you do is stand still and all the characters change. And one thing I can guarantee you is that the configuration of this community will look far different by the end of 2019 than it does right now. Guarantee you, there'll be more fissures. There'll be more people that get together, more people that split apart, private panels that explode. Well, Tucker, I'm straight up honest. I've never really left your side. I've admired the things that you've done. I admire your passion for St. Jude's. I already called Marshall out on the, and the other people that don't think that that money's gone to St. Jude's. Just by virtue of the fact that if you think that that money would move Dave's needle, then you don't know Tucker very well. There's, if you think you're best for business, Marshall, there's a perfect example. Yeah, you're best for business for St. Jude's. They should actually they should do a fucking oil painting of you and hang it at the front entrance. Our great benefactor, the Assyrian king. The board of directors comes in for a meeting. Who in the fuck is that on the wall? What, did they have some third world fucking party in the conference room here? A Baba Ganoush party? No, that's the greatest benefactor in St. Jude's Children's Cancer Research Hospital now. This guy is a fucking money machine. And you know what? Yeah, MammaBear is fine. She knows true friendship when she sees it. I have my own personal relationship with MammaBear. I've declared that on here. People know that. They can still have respect for other people having a relationship on there, okay? But Elvis, when you think about the weird configuration that you've set up in this community now, that not only do you don't get hit in the tip jar, the donation jar, but now you're being used as a rallying point to contribute money to a cause that nobody has to have even question the worthiness of it. You are best for business, man. You are truly best for business. But the only one that's not benefiting from that is you. So, Melton John, if you want to have a platform here, get yourself equipped up with a cam, contact me. You know how to get a hold of me. I can make it like new at gmail.com. I understand that you're upset with the state of shit down here. But now that Elvis has made you a rock star down here, you're what's going to be best for business. I hope you go back today, Marshall, and reread and re-listen to this hangout. And just think about the realities of the way that things stack up in the community now, that you're working your ass off. Let me just back up a minute. We talked about the van restoration, and man, that's something I'd love to tear my teeth into that. And if you ever really wanted something like that to happen, you would examine the way that the board is laid out, and you would say, I got no feasible way now to get from here to here to make that happen. Who are you telling a link? Who are you telling to give a link to? You got something you want to say? Or who? Well, I don't know who you're talking to. You're battling with a million people on the side. Paddling upstream in his canoe. He ain't talking to me. He sure as hell ain't talking to me. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You come on. You be civil. You start chimping, and that's it. I'm not going to take it. I try to run a positive show here, not a negative thing. Okay. There's your link. I don't want to hear the same garbage as 2015 Redux. Hey, Mama Ricky. It's sent. Thank you very much. I'm not nice. Try me. You are nice, actually.
What's going on?
What's happening, Marshall?
What's happening? What's happening right now? Is that what you're talking about? What's happening right now is I got my life threatened by this guy. I was here in Largo today. I showed myself where I was at, and I'm here. And I'm not afraid of him. I'm not afraid of LCD paying him. I'm not afraid of any of you guys but the God I sure up in heaven. And I got this right here. So you want to send that to the cops? Send it. Because if anybody comes near me and threatens me, you better believe I'm ready. And send that to the cops. That's all I got to say.
Best for business. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being by. I'll see you tonight.